What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. We continue here with my 2024 predictions for the upcoming 2024 college football season. The Colorado Buffaloes are up next. Colorado coming off a pretty tough season last year in 2023, going 4-8 overall and missing out on a bowl game, just 2 games short of a bowl game. This team, of course, was one of the more interesting teams last year in 2023. Everybody was really talking about Colorado last year being like a dark horse contender in the Pac-12, and they can have a really good season. But I wasn't really that high on Colorado, really didn't have no expectations for Colorado last year, and they were really exactly where I expected them to be. And this team did get off to a 3-0 start. After those first 3 games, Colorado fans were chanting that this is a top 25 and maybe a top 15 team, but that obviously did not really go the rest of the way. They really struggled in Pac-12 play, and that just really wasn't a good season in 2023. But my thoughts on this team for 2024, I think Colorado is going to be a lot better compared to last year, and definitely going into the Big 12 is definitely a right move. This conference is definitely going to be wide open, and there's definitely going to be a lot of winnable games here for Colorado on the schedule. They also have a good amount of production coming back. You got Shedeur Sanders coming back at quarterback, and then defensively and then offensively, Travis Hunter playing 2 positions. He is back as well. So this Colorado team, I think, will be pretty good this year, and they could probably make it to a bowl game. So let's get to the schedule now here for 2024. This is the schedule here for Colorado. Again, they were 4-8 last year in 2023. So let's go game by game now and give you a record prediction here for the Colorado Buffaloes for 2024. They will start things off with North Dakota State here on August 31st. Season opener. I think Colorado fans are going to be really fired up for this one because it's like the first game in the second year under Deion Sanders and everything. But this is not going to be an easy game, in my opinion, for Colorado. You look at North Dakota State, one of the top teams at the FCS level. There was an early spread for this game back in the early part of the offseason, and Colorado actually was only an 8-point favorite. So I don't really expect an easy game here for Colorado, but I think they're definitely the more better team here, and they should be able to take care of business at the end of the day. Maybe the game is close in the first half, but Colorado definitely pulls away maybe in the second half, and they win by at least like 20-plus points. So I think Colorado starts out the year 1-0 here pretty easily with a win over North Dakota State. And then after that, there's the big game on the road at Nebraska here on September the 7th in week number 2. Of course, a rematch from last year. Colorado dominated Nebraska last season. They looked like the better team more than Nebraska did, and it was just not really even a close game at all. And Colorado played them at home last year. This time they go on the road and played Nebraska. I think this is definitely going to be a more competitive game compared to last year. I think Nebraska will be ready for this game as well. And I've already done my prediction for this game. I did choose the Cornhuskers to win this game. I'm very high on Nebraska this year. I think they're going to be really good. A lot of experience coming back for Matt Rhule's second year. So with that being said, it's a very competitive game. I think at the end of the day, home field advantage will be the difference here. So in a low-scoring game, I'm going to go with Nebraska here to knock off Colorado and give Colorado their first loss of the season here in week number 2. So that puts Colorado's record now at 1-1, and then they get ready for a rivalry game on the road here at Colorado State the next week here on September 14th. This was a great game last year, went into overtime. Colorado definitely was the better team last year, but Colorado State actually was very competitive. I mean, obviously, when it comes to these rivalry games, they're always very competitive games. I really didn't expect that game to be close last year, but Colorado State really proved everyone wrong by competing against this Colorado team, at their home place. This year, it's on the road here at Colorado State, so this will be even a trickier test here for Colorado, but I just think the Buffaloes are the more better team here. They're definitely the more talented team as well. It will be a close game. It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I think Colorado State will be fired up for this one, but it won't be enough to pull off a huge upset here. I'm going to go with Colorado to get the win here on the road at Colorado State, and that puts their record now here at 2-1. They open up Big 12 play here against Baylor on September 21st. This will be a home game here for the Buffaloes. I'm really having a hard time figuring out how good Baylor is going to be. I think their offense will be pretty solid, but the defense does have some question marks. That's really the only thing that I've heard about Baylor so far this year. But with that being said, Colorado gets this game at home. I think they win this one fairly easily. Baylor really hasn't been that good in the last couple years, so I think Colorado definitely is is the better team here. So I got Colorado winning that game, and that puts their record now at 3-1. Next game will be on the road at UCF here on September 28th. I think this will be a really consistent UCF team. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Maybe not like on the talent level of, Kansas State, Arizona, and then also Kansas and Oklahoma State and Utah in the Big 12, but they're definitely like one of those consistent teams in the future of the Big 12. And this is a very tough game to call. I've kind of been back and forth on this game. I think both of these teams are pretty even. Colorado plays this game on the road. They get a bye week right after this game before playing a big game in the next couple weeks against Kansas State. Maybe they are overlooking UCF and really focusing on the Kansas State game from next week. So with that being said, I think Colorado definitely overlooks UCF here. And with that being said, I'm going to go with the UCF Knights here to pull off an upset over Colorado. And again, I know that's a big shocker there. Colorado definitely has a chance to win this game. I'm going to go with UCF here just because they're playing at home here in this one. I think this is going to be a really consistent UCF team, and I think UCF's going to pretty much run the football in this game to keep that Colorado offense off the field for as long as possible. So I think Colorado loses their second game here of the season on the road at UCF. That puts their record now at 3-2. And again, they get a bye week before playing a big game at home against Kansas State on October the 12th. Like I said, Colorado definitely overlooks UCF, and they get ready to play this game against Kansas State. I think Colorado's going to be really fired up for this game, and plus I've already done my Kansas State video, and I do choose Colorado to pull off an upset here. Again, I think Colorado is probably going to be the spoiler team in the Big 12 this year that really can pull off some huge upsets. Once they get into big games like this, they're definitely going to be playing their best football, and plus the game is at home coming out of the bye week. I think Colorado bounces back after a loss to UCF a couple weeks ago. They upset Kansas State here at home, so I got them getting the win there over Kansas State, and that puts their record now here at 4-2. Then after that, they'll play on the road here at Arizona on October 19th. I think Arizona is going to be pretty good this year. They're not going to be the same team as they were from last year that won 10 games, but this will be a really good Arizona team still either way. They do have a good amount of production coming back. This is going to be a very competitive game, but I've already chosen Arizona to win this game a couple weeks ago. And I think Arizona might be the better team here just because of the season they had last year as well. I think this is a well-coached team. I know they have a first-year head coach coming up this season, but I think Arizona is going to be good enough, and plus playing at home, I think it's a 50-50 type game. I'm going to go with Arizona here just because of home field advantage, and I think they give Colorado their third loss of the season. And then after that, it'll be a home game against Cincinnati here on October 26th. Not really that high on the Bearcats this year. I think Colorado definitely is the better team here. They bounce back after a loss to Arizona. Again, I don't think Cincinnati is going to be that good this year, so I think Colorado wins fairly easily by 10 to 14 points, somewhere in that range. And that puts their record now here at 5-3. And then they get their second bye week here before playing on the road here at Texas Tech on November 9th. This is right before a big game against Utah the next week. I don't think Colorado's going to be really focused going into this game against Texas Tech. Like I mentioned with the UCF game and everything, I think that's a game that, Colorado definitely overlooks. And they probably get a bounce-back win over a big-time game against Kansas State. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I think Texas Tech's going to be pretty good this year. They'll be pretty solid. This is a very tough game here on the road. It will be a close game, but I'm going to go with Texas Tech here just because of the home field advantage. And I think they give Colorado their fourth loss of the season, so that puts Colorado's record now here at 5-4. And then after that, there's the big game at home against Utah here on November 16th. A Utah team with a lot of production coming back. They should be a very talented team as well. And I know going into this game, Utah definitely is the more talented team, but I think Colorado playing at home, that's definitely going to be really favorable for them. And I think the crowd's going to be really fired up for this one. This game is kind of similar to the Kansas State game. Colorado's going to be definitely focused in this game. They'll come out really fired up in this one. I think they're going to be playing their best football once again. So with that being said, I think Colorado pulls off another upset here. I'm going to go with the upset. I think they upset Utah here, and that puts their record now at 6-4. So that does get them into a bowl game. And then after that, they'll play on the road here at Kansas on November 23rd. This is going to be a very competitive game. The Jayhawks have a lot of experience coming back. I think both of these teams are pretty even. I've been back and forth on this game, but I've already done my Candace video, and I did say the Jayhawks will win this one. So I think Colorado loses a close game to Candace here on the road. They get them their 5th loss of the season, so that puts their record now at 6-5. And then the final game of the season is at home against Oklahoma State on November 29th. This game, of course, will be on a Friday. I also think Colorado's going to be really fired up for this game. It's one of those weeknight games that, we've seen some upsets in the past, in the Big 12 and then also in the ACC on these weeknight games. It's definitely one of those games. Oklahoma State may be battling for a spot in the Big 12 championship. This game probably could ruin their Big 12 championship hopes. And again, after a loss to Candace, I think Colorado definitely overlooks the Candace game, and they definitely focus on the next game the next week against Oklahoma State at home. They pull off another upset here. I'm going to go with the upset here again. So I think that's going to be their 3rd biggest win here on this schedule, and they upset Oklahoma State here in their final game of the regular season. So I got Colorado finishing with a record of 7-5 here for 2024. This Colorado team, I think going into the Big 12, they'll definitely have a really better season compared to the Pac-12 from last year. And this schedule, it's pretty tough. You got home games though against like 3 of the toughest teams in the Big 12. You got Kansas State, Utah, and Oklahoma State. All 3 of those games will be at home. But what if they beat UCF and Candace both on the road? This team actually can go like 9-3. Don't really see that being really possible though. I think this team can either go like 6-6 or 7-5 or 5-7. I mean, if they go 5-7, that would definitely be a disappointing season for Colorado. But this Colorado team, I think, is going to be a lot better this year. Again, 7-5 is my prediction here for 2024. So let me guys know what you think about this Colorado team down in the comments below. What do you think their record will be for 2024? Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports Channel.